Good evening. Just a wrap up of the council meeting for the City of Grand Rapids for Monday, August 14th, 2017. The work session this afternoon consisted of some discussion topics. The first one was a presentation by Vic Moen around We Are All Criminals, and it has to do with the amount and the number and frequency that people might be confronted and might have their record out there from a criminal standpoint. Vic is the district supervisor for the Office of Corrections, and he was in and talked about 1 in 4 probably have some type of an activity that would put them on where if they were out applying for something, they would have to check a box. Have you ever had something on your record where it's a yes or a no? You might have to check a yes. So we are interested in bringing up awareness in 3 critical areas there, and that's community awareness, community perceptions, and community action, things that we can take to work with those folks that have and been put in that position going forward, and how we can deal with them. The other thing we did have, as you recall going back a while, we had the Beacon Hill project. It was a joint project between 7 organizations to build 48 units of affordable housing and multi-use housing and some housing for homeless, and some housing that is for Northland Counseling as well out of those 48 units. And that project went very well, and to the point that out of a number of projects across the state of Minnesota, they were one of the projects that was cited from a success standpoint. The project totally meets the needs of people and residents within the Grand Rapids area. It's not bringing in people from outside of the area. It serves the needs of the Grand Rapids community. So that Beacon Hill project has certainly been and gone well from the standpoint of what it was designed to do and how it was designed to serve, the residents of the Grand Rapids area. And then Luann Vandenheuvel was talked a little bit about communications survey in the city of Grand Rapids. How do we get our information? The Herald Review seems to be the #1, and then the radio and Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat. There are a lot of ways that we can get it, but the idea behind this is how do we as a community get our message out there better in some critical areas? And some of the areas that I think people want to know more about are businesses coming into town, road projects and stuff that we have in the community, how their tax dollars are being spent. So from a tax standpoint, what are their tax dollars going for? And we would like to have those top 5 or 6 areas identified so that we can do a better job as a council of getting that type of information out to the residents of the Grand Rapids area, so they know exactly what we're doing as a council and what we're doing as a city from an activity standpoint. And one of the ways we're doing that is the new reader board. As you're going south across the river on Pecagma Avenue, there's going to be a reader board that will be up and running, and it's going to advertise those type of events from a community service standpoint. So look for that community reader board to start helping get information out. On the consent agenda this afternoon, there was just a few things. We still get donations into the multi-use pavilion. We're still getting some of them in. We've had a lot of donations for the National Night Out. I just wanted to recognize all of those ones that donated money and or bikes for the National Night Out. We had permanent easement infrastructure. A dark area of town was Highway 169 as we're headed towards Coleraine. From about 9th Avenue all the way out to the bowling alley on the north side of the road, there was no street lighting. So we approved some street lighting improvement projects out there. So you will be seeing that installed shortly on the north side of 169, the Grand Rapids side. Keep in mind that on the south side of 169 is the city of La Prairie. But we will be putting street lighting up for those businesses to better give some security and some safety from the standpoint of the sidewalks and stuff as people use them. We got a donation for the Shop with a Hero program. That's a program that's been going for a couple of years. The dehumidification project at the arena, we made our last payment on that. And then MnDOT, we're doing some terminal taxi lane upgrades out at the airport for some projects out there, so we have been in the process of working through them. At our regular meeting, we also had a department head report from Mike Liebel, our fire chief. Mike talked about the number of calls so far this year. We've been at about 108, down from 120 at the same time last year, so the numbers are down. 9 of those were structure fires so far this year, and out of that, one of the structure fires, we did lose a life, and it was taken very hard by the fire department, the ones that work there. Anytime you lose a life in a fire and they're responding, certainly that's going to put some stress on those folks, but the only positive, if there is a positive in this, is the life that was lost was an organ donor, and as Mike said, as a result of that lost life, 4 organs were donated and 4 people are alive today because of organs donated, thanks to the generosity of that donor. Rob Rima hit anniversary date on the fire department, 30 years of service, hardly ever misses a meeting, and that's kind of the makeup of the whole fire department from top to bottom. We have a very dedicated group. There's 32 on the fire department right now, including two in the trainee position, but from top to bottom, they are a very dedicated group. Barb Baird was in on the finance department. We had Rebecca Kurtz up, and they talked a little bit about our bond rating, and we went out for our street reconstruction GO bonding for this year. We had total of $2,130,000 worth of bonds, and we had anticipated and estimated earlier on back in about May that it could be as high as 2.8% from a bond standpoint. And as we got closer, Standard & Poor's did a rating, and they looked at the city of Grand Rapids from a financial standpoint and what our debt and what our reserves and how we manage our money. And as a result of that, they give us a 1-tick upgrade. We had talked before about Grand Rapids having an A1 rating, which is great for a city of our size. We are now above that. We are an AA- rating, and as a result of that AA- rating, we were able to secure that bond at 2.34%. We were not able to calculate what that is a savings over the 15-year period of repayment on that bond, but it's going to be in the thousands of dollars of savings on interest on that bond payment. We appointed Dion Holcomb-Card to the library as a public services clerk position. We appointed someone to the Joint Recreation Board, the Greenway Joint Recreation Board. Tasha Conley serves on our Park and Rec Board, and as a result of her serving on that board, it will now be that position as well to serve on that Joint Rec Board. So, hope everyone is excited about the upcoming event. This week is the fair. Get out and enjoy. See the fair. Hopefully the weather holds up as it did for the car show and Tall Timber Days. I think that if you had an opportunity to go to those 2 events over the last 3 weeks, I think you were very impressed with the quality of the cars that were shown and the swap meet. I think also our hats go off to all of those that organized the Tall Timber Days. That was a very successful event, and I am expecting that the fair will be the same this week. So get out, get a chance to visit with some folks at the fair, have a little bit of fair food, and enjoy the weather. It's going to be back to school soon, and with that, we have a road project. Matt Wegworth was in and talked to you a little bit about 7th Avenue South. We're experimenting with a sealant that goes on over the tar that is supposed to enhance and extend the life of that street. So we are looking at doing that road project on August 21st, a week from today, 9 p.m. at night till 5 a.m. in the morning on 7th Avenue from the Horn Bridge all the way up to the intersection at 13th where you could go into the airport. So if between 9 and 5 you are looking at going that way, try and reroute yourself. If the weather is good, that road will be closed as they put that sealant down. And we look forward to seeing everyone in 2 weeks. Have a good time.